Good morning, beautiful souls, and welcome along to lesson 343. I'm not asked to make a sacrifice to find the mercy and the peace of God. So always remembering that God, or love, as we like to call it, is never asking anything of us whatsoever. There is nothing for us to have to give up or sacrifice or suffer because of, which is really heartwarming and lovely and light and delightful as far as I'm concerned. I grew up around the idea of making sacrifices a lot, so it's nice to feel freedom from that. Let's pause and take a moment and gently close our eyes down, enter into our quiet space, beginning our day centered in our hearts. Or your center might be your solar plexus as well. For some people, they experience their center there. Drop a beautiful line of energy from your center down into the earth's core. See it wrapping around the crystals in the earth's core. Come back to your center and send a beautiful line of golden energy shooting up from your center all the way up into the heavens. Drawing light down from the heavens, sending love up from your heart. Coming back into your center and dropping into a relaxed state. 5, 4, 3, body relaxes completely in the seat. 2 and 1. So relaxed and calm. Now as we enter into our space of prayer. Make me an instrument of your peace, O love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. And where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine One, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Taking another pause here for a moment, just to really allow yourself to be so present and present to the words of the St. Francis prayer, which are so beautiful, such a surrendered way to begin your day. Just really and truly asking love to use you. And get everything else out of the way and just say, love, use me. So our lesson, I am not asked to make a sacrifice to find the mercy and the peace of God. The end of suffering cannot be loss. The gift of everything can be but gain. You only give and you never take away. And you created me to be like you. So sacrifice becomes impossible. So, we're designed as well to only give and not take away. And it's only the learnings of the ego that get us caught up in loss and the idea that if we give something, we have lost it. We no longer have it. I'm going to start that line again. You never take away, and you created me to be like you. So sacrifice becomes impossible for me as well as you. I too must give. And so all things are given me forever and forever. As I was created, I remain. So we often talk about formless and unchangeable, untouchable, unmutable. So your child can make no sacrifice, for it must be complete, having the function of completing you. And I am complete because I am your child. I cannot lose, for I can only give, and everything is mine eternally. And it's like having this storehouse that just never, ever, ever, diminishes. It's just replenished each time you give. As you give love, you receive love. As you receive love, you have more love to give. And it just keeps flowing and flowing like that. And then we're reminded that the mercy and the peace of God are free. They're there for the taking. It's like this free offer, and we don't take it because we think it's going to cost us something. It's not going to cost you anything. Salvation has no cost. It is a gift that must be freely given and received. And it is this that we would learn today. And, I suppose because we're so caught up in this world of, duality and of separation, that, this takes a certain amount of faith, I guess. You really got to, lean into this. It's almost like you got to test it, and you can test it. That's the whole thing. It's not like a bad thing to test it. There's no judgment on you for testing it. It's like, well, just try it out. Try leaning into love. Try being awake to the fact that mercy and peace are free. Just give it a whirl. And I suppose for me, it's that being in, in that space of wonderment and curiosity. So I'm going to try this and see, does this work? What does that feel like? What's it like to completely get out of my own way? What's it like to give up the idea of sacrifice? Like give up the idea that I have to suffer in some way in order to receive peace. Yes, it can be challenging because you got to do things differently. That's the only thing. Maybe you give up your old way of doing things. But in truth, that doesn't even exist, but it feels very real. I say this often because these things do feel real. So you might have to give up a pattern or a behavior that you repeat over and over again. But usually these are things that don't serve us at all. So in fact, you're giving up nothing. You're giving up a load of old rubbish in order to gain the mercy and the peace of God, which are freely there, waiting and available for you. So be playful and enjoy this. Enjoy the fact that there are free gifts there for the taking, and that there's no sacrifice on your part. Absolutely nothing. Just embracing a new way of being, which is actually your old way of being, because it's the way you've always been. But recognizing it, truly making that decision to recognize that peace and love and light are available to you. And so remind yourself once more that the mercy and the peace of God are free. The end of suffering cannot be lost. That's such a beautiful, powerful line. The end of suffering cannot be lost. The gift of everything can be but gain. I mean, in those first two lines, you have it all. So that's what I would take into meditation. The end of suffering cannot be lost. The gift of everything can be but gain. Enjoy your practice.